Hey folks, Ty Cohen here from KindleCashflow.com. And today I've got one of my favorite people coming all the way from the UK. She's someone who's got this massive amount of energy. And I was just talking to her behind the scenes. I'm like, listen, your energy feeds my energy. So we got to have this good positive energy going around here. And I think you're going to get that too as you watch this interview. You're going to see how she's got this infectious energy, which is very, very, very cool. So Caroline, coming all the way from the UK, who has been publishing on Amazon for a couple of months, I think, and you can correct me as we get into this, right? But she's working her way to $10,000 a month, which I think is very cool because she's someone that has stayed focused, right? If you guys saw any of the other interviews, I just recently did an interview with Sue White, who's also in the community. And on that interview, I had my Kindle Cashflow Stay Focused shirt on because that's what it takes. It takes like being able to stay focused. It takes having a plan. She says, listen, my next plan is to launch a long series, right? A long word series, for lack of a better word. But right now I'm working on what's working for me. I don't want to get distracted. And when she said that, Caroline, I don't even know if you knew that I was paying attention, but I was like, that is so much so how you do it. Right? I think so many people get distracted. So I can't wait to jump in and hear more of your story. But first, if you have not gotten your tickets to Kindle Cashflow Live, folks, I want you to go in and get them right now. I'm going to share my screen really quickly. And I'm going to show you where you can actually go in and get your ticket. All right. So you can go to KCF Live. All right. KCFlive.com. So K is in Kindle, C is in cash, F is in flow, live.com. Get your ticket. You can actually get in for free right now. We do have some VIP upgrades if you want to get like recordings of the event. We're giving away like $5,000 worth of bonuses and some really cool stuff when you go in and upgrade to VIP access. And VIP is just $47. So every single person that's watching this can get in. You can either go in and get in for free, doesn't matter what country you're in, or you can upgrade and get VIP access, but make sure you go in and get in. The other cool thing is, right, we're going to be giving away like thousands and thousands of dollars worth of prizes at KCF Live. This is like one of the parts that's really fun for us. We're going to be doing something called the Wheel of Names. And Caroline, basically what this is we're going to take the names of all of the attendees that are actually there with us live. We're going to put them into like this roulette wheel, and it's going to select the name. Right. And we'll do that multiple times throughout the event. And if you're a winner, you'll get the chance to win some cool stuff like Apple Watches, some Apple AirPods, if you guys can see those. I've got some MacBook Airs here that we'll be giving away. This is like a rose gold one. We've got like a silver one. Of course, we always have like the Kindle Cashflow swag, like the hats. And we've got some cool books that we'll be giving away. Some shirts like this. If you guys can see this one here, it says, I'm a diehard Kindler. I think it says that. We've got about 10 different shirts here that we'll be giving away, and then some water bottles to make sure that you stay hydrated. So for nothing more than to win, you want to go over to kcflive.com, register for a free or VIP ticket, doesn't matter, and then join us, and you must be present in order to win. So now that I'm out of breath saying all of that, let me bring on my guest, Caroline. You know, I got introduced to you by another one of our team members, Jawar, who actually, I'm not even sure how you guys first like came to know of one another, but
he's a great guy. He brought me into FastPass with Seth's help as well, and then we just chatted now and again, and then I messaging him, and he's a great guy. Fabulous.
So you met Jawar and Seth, who's also in the group, right? And I think Seth's doing like 35,000 a month. He's just killing it. Awesome. And from the moment that Jawar met you, he would, because him and I talk on the phone quite often, right? He's like, oh, you Caroline this and Caroline that. And he's sending me texts. And I'm like, what's this obsession that you have with this lady, Caroline? Right? He's just talking about you in just really good ways, right?
That's kind.
So much so that I kind of felt like I knew you. So when we first talked, I interviewed you a couple of weeks ago, if I think correctly, right? I was going into that interview feeling like you are someone that I have known for a while, just because
Yeah.
Joe has so many good things to say. So
Oh, that's kind of him.
for those of you
I
who,
paid him well.
yeah, there you go. Right, that's the thing, right? He likes checks, right? So checks will do it.
Absolutely.
So for those that don't know you, right, the way I feel I know you, just give us a quick rundown. Who is Caroline T?
Ah, um, so I guess now I'm a digital marketeer and mum, someone who's passionate about quitting my job soon,
Yeah.
and doing this and sort of coaching in the team as in the community as well. Um, in the past, my background, I made some notes actually. I think when you get to 52, I started this when I was 51, but when you get to 52, you've got to write down all the things you've done, haven't you?
Right.
Because I didn't have like a 30-year job or anything. So
Right.
I started off as a teacher. I then moved into law. Well, I went into financial services. So I was a bank manager in my 20s. That was pretty crazy in London, because that was a period where I sort of really didn't know what I was doing, but it seemed to work. And then after that, in my 30s, I moved into law, but not a lawyer. I wasn't a lawyer. I was training lawyers and barristers in London for a US law firm, which was great. And then I stuck there for sort of 13 years. Had my kids, and I was saying to Joel recently actually about this period of time. The money was great. The hours were, 60-hour weeks, and long commutes, and the kiddies were babies then, and I was just going back and forth and not being with them. So I sort of earned some decent money, not the sort of money you can earn with Kindle, but at the time it was good money. But I didn't see the children, so I sacrificed time, money for time, time for money. So then I moved out of that. Life got really, it was interesting actually when I was looking at your interview with Sue, because you said about your daughter saying that you're always working when you were working. So one of my big pivotal moments was when 10 years ago, when I was in London and it was just stressful and crazy, and my daughter did a picture, and her teacher gave me this picture, and this picture was of her in bed reading. Obviously she wasn't on her own at night. Right. My ex-husband was with her, but it was mum on the train going backwards and forwards to London. That's her picture of me.
That was you.
That was me. So I thought, she's just, her image is of me just backwards and forwards commuting. I'm not there reading with her at night. So I took drastic action and moved out of the job and got a job locally. And I took a 50,000 pay drop so that I could work part-time and be with the kids. So that was 10 years ago. And since then, I've been trying to sort of find something that would give me the money, the time, and the freedom, So that's the background. We played around with business for a while and different things.
So our stories in that sense are pretty similar, right? With the kids and just working, as you heard me in that interview with Sue. I was just working like a madman, and out of the mouths of babes, right? Sometimes children, they're innocently honest, right? And then those innocently honest moments give us our like aha moments where, wow, okay, I'm missing
Absolutely.
out. So very cool. So hey, we got you here. You now found a different path, Kindle publishing. Tell me a little bit, I think people have seen you in the community, people that are part of a Kindle Cashflow community. And if you're not part of a Kindle Cashflow community, you could go to kindlecashflow.com/Facebook and just join us in the Facebook community. You'll see a ton of different people. So people see you in the community always helping, right? Always encouraging, always answering questions when you can. What is it about you that makes you want to do that? Like, what makes you want to jump into the group and just help out? Because not everyone will do that.
Yeah, I think it's because that was what I got when I started. The generosity of the people who have some people were new like me, and some with lots and lots of experience, and they would just go in and give and give and give. And it's sort of my opportunity to give back. I've got some knowledge, albeit I'm pretty new. So I just think, oh, I'll share this because it's working, because it's a sort of community. I feel I've never felt like this in a business before, where everyone wants everyone to do really well, you know, and everyone appreciates everyone. There's no judgment. There's clear guidelines and rules about how we all interact in there, and I like that. That's really special, very unusual.
Yeah, I think it makes it fun, man. You know, I think that if you have like, I think if you just have one person that's successful, right? Or it's just so much better when you have others that can be successful. It just makes it more enjoyable for whatever reason it might be, right? It just feels good. You know, so since you like to give away great information and tips, I'm going to put you on the spot here. Give me one of your tips. What's something that's worked really well for you? Because I know that, you know, whenever you're doing anything business related or just life in general, right? Life is going to kick your butt. I was listening to something this morning that said that, you know, if you want to be a diamond, like you have to be able to withstand the pressure. You have to be able to withstand, you know, all of the heat that comes with it without breaking, right? And then when you're finally cut, when that diamond is finally cut, then it can no longer be broken. And I was like, oh my God, that is just so much in tune with life, because there's going to be some things that really hit you hard. Yeah. And if you just break down, that's it. But if you say, hey, this is it, I'm going to withstand it. I know that life's got some things that it's throwing to me, but life, could you stop throwing so hard? You know, like enough. Right. Give me a break. I'm not going to break, but give me a break.
Yeah.
You know, so you've been through some things, just like I've been through some things, just like the individual that's watching this has been through some things, or maybe going through some things right now, or heading towards some things.
Yeah.
What's a tip that you can give someone to help them to kind of stay focused, you know, to kind of stay there?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I think, you know, one of the things I decided, because I was in a business before and it didn't pan out the way I thought it would do. And I had these dreams and plans for the business. I worked really hard. And then I suddenly realized actually I wasn't calibrated to it. It wasn't really me. But during that period, it was really helpful because we did a load of stuff around mindset, and I got to see Les Brown and Tony Robbins, you know, some of the great presenters in America. And one of the things I think I decided just recently is, if I want this life that I want, if I want to earn, you know, 100K a month or 50K a month, you know, whatever that is for me, then I need to change who I am, and or rather change back to who I am, because life sort of does knock you around, and sometimes you start to behave in the way that you limitations on yourself, or you don't believe in something that, you know, they can do it and I can't do it, or don't believe in yourself. We've all got that sort of little gremlin there saying you can't do it. So I decided when I came into this that in order to change my reality, I had to change my personality back to who I really am, not that person that's been sort of wondering why, you know, the last 10 years I didn't have the abundance that I had back then, you know, 10 years ago. So it's about sort of letting go of the past and then just deciding that I would change. So I started studying, you know, actually I'd done all the studying of all the gurus, all the great books, you know, and then I just started studying the people in the group and the way they were talking, you know, the people that were doing well, the people that are really experienced, like you and Marty and Josh and Rodney and Jawar, and then thinking they sort of, everyone that's sort of doing well, they've trained themselves to think differently and be different. When I say change your personality, I mean actually be who you really are and who we're meant to be when we came here, you know, into this reality. So I've always been really into sort of the law of attraction. I sort of believe that things happen when you put out the energy. And so I think for me, it was just that, okay, I'm going to think like an entrepreneur. I'm going to talk like one. I'm not going to spend time criticizing anyone or anything. Yeah. I'm just going to focus on being who I should be, and and then everything changes, who I want to be. Yeah. And then everything starts to just miraculously change around you, and you like magic. And that's amazing. And so I went in this business like that. And even during the first period when I was, when I first started publishing last year, even though I made a load of mistakes, I didn't ever worry, because I just thought, that's great, I'll just make loads of mistakes and get them out of the way.
Right.
And I still made loads. And then I'll just learn it. And I just went to study frenzy, studying as much as I could in the course, all the modules are there.
Totally submersion yourself.
Yeah. And the people that were doing it, not the coaches at the time, but the people who had gone from $200 a month to 30,000. Right. I studied all of their posts, and some of those guys like Seth, Brian, they put some really good content in terms of what they're doing. And I had it all mapped out, okay, they were doing that then, they had this, and so
you were following the trails. That's pretty much it, right? They're leaving these breadcrumbs. It's in the course, or people that are the students that are successful, and you're following it. That's brilliant. Yeah, like there's simplicity in that, but there's brilliance in it. Like
there's brilliance in it, and that was also around things like some of the technical stuff around investing in advertising, moving from that lack mindset.
Yep.
To the money mindset.
That's a killer as well. Yeah. So just the advertising, not wanting to put anything in there, You said something at the very beginning, which was, I had to write this one down. I don't know if you saw me ducking down here, but I'm like, let me get my note cards. Change my reality to change my personality. I don't know if you could, I'm trying to scramble to write that down because I don't want to lose it. Like, that is so true, Veer. I remember, with myself, and having to do this over and over and over again is just catching yourself and catching your thoughts. Well, Caroline can do it, or Sue can do it, or Nate, or Joe, or someone else can do it, but for whatever reason, I can't do it. And usually those reasons are not valid, right? They're usually just figments of our imagination, but they're so real. Like they seem so real. And we have to be so strong to really be able to recognize. I think the first step is recognizing, you kind of touched on this, recognizing when that limited belief is creeping in and kind of catching it mid-thought, right? And just throwing it out there.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
It becomes this game, right? Would you say that?
The game. It's a game, yeah. And I would say, there you go again. The imposter thought. Yep. So how do I really feel about this? How does my inner me feel about this? It's going to be okay. Everything's always working out, and then you just sort of move yourself away. And it takes time and practice, doesn't it? And I think that a lot of the people that are successful in any business have mastered this skill.
And are still working on it.
Yeah. It's ongoing, because we're human, and we're humans are conditioned to always look at the sort of the fear, the worry about things, because we've been programmed, haven't we, over the years to sort of forget that we can do anything and be anything. And I think it's just having fun along the way. It doesn't matter that X person did it in 3 months and Y person's taken 5 years, as long as you're enjoying the process, Yeah. And there are many people, I was going to say, there's many people in the community doing their own writing. I've done both writing and outsourcing, and that takes time as well. So those people might not be publishing every week, because they're mixing it up and doing that. And if they enjoy that, that's fab. I love doing that as well.
Yeah. Did I not tell you? You are watching this. Did I not tell you that she is fantastic? She's got me thinking here, right? I'm like, well, what are the freaking limiting things that I'm thinking about and that I'm believing right now? I don't know if you guys saw like the smoke coming out of my ears, but this is it. Like Caroline's actually going to be speaking at Kindle Castle Live, and we'll give you a glimpse of what she brings. And this is natural, folks. Like the beautiful thing that I like about you, Caroline, and I'm always talking to the team, like Lenny the boss, who's going to be the MC at Kindle Castle Live, and Marty and Josh, and just everyone. I'm like, guys, we don't need to be super professional with this. You don't need to be stuffy. Like, you don't need to be perfect in everything. Just come in and be yourself, because that's what people want. Like, Caroline is herself here. And because of that, like, I'm getting goosebumps right now just thinking about all of this, because I think that when you're just yourself, it just carries over, right? Whether you're yourself and you're talking to people, whether you're yourself and you're talking to your ghostwriters, your editors, it just carries over, and it puts everyone else at ease. And they're just like, oh, this person's just a regular person.
Yeah,
like
definitely.
me.
Yeah,
You know?
absolutely. Yeah.
So I appreciate that. Now, piggybacking off of that, being yourself, you kind of said something where you're looking at like this person's hair, right? And then this person's hair and this person's hair. Social media can be a blessing, but it can also be a curse in that aspect, because it gets you to, we're human. We compare one another, right? We compare ourselves to other people. I think we have to use that as motivation. If someone else is doing really well, use that as motivation, but also don't use it to like tear yourself down. Like, I suck. I'm the worst at it because this person's did it in 6 months and I'm still trying out, you know? So
absolutely. And also that's interesting, because also when people in the group will ask questions like, what genre are you in, or how many books have you published, that's not a helpful thing to share, because there are as many profitable categories, and also you could make 20k with one series, and it might take you 50 books and either's great. And so it doesn't really matter how many books you've got. And also, you know, some people are like, well, they're making that, so I sort of need to know what category they're in. But actually,
what category, how many books, how many words are your books, how much to the penny are you spending on ads? And honestly, when I see those questions, I want to kind of jump in and be like, it doesn't matter. Like it doesn't, you don't have to follow a process step by step by step. To a degree, yes, but not like on a macro, on a like very granular level, right? When I see those posts, sometimes I'm like, man, I hope this person does not fail. And I'm saying that because you want the big picture, but you don't want to have to be so tied into everything where you have to do it exactly right like this person is. You add your own personality and your own twist and your own, you know.
Absolutely. And there are so many equally profitable categories in so many different areas. And the other thing, and I was going to do a post on this, I woke up the other morning thinking about this, thinking that I think the key thing actually it's a bit of a secret, if you like, I think, is to choose whatever you choose, make sure it's something that really, really resonates. So, you know, if you decide that you're going to do erotica, is that the sort of thing that you feel that actually when you're liaising with your readers, you're going to enjoy that conversation? If it's romance, the same thing. If it's self-development books, you know, nonfiction. And I think the key thing is to go into what you really enjoy, and you'll be successful, rather than what you think, oh, you know, is everyone sort of making the money in romance and it isn't anywhere else? So I think that's so important to pick. Not necessarily that you would always read those sorts of books yourself, but you sort of enjoy the whole piece around the reader interaction and sending out newsletters and chatting about the niche, if you like. And I think that's crucial.
Some element of it, right? There's got to be some element. You enjoy maybe the research part of it, or maybe communicating with that audience, right? That you're building up, that list that you're building up. I think you had mentioned, I think it was you mentioned like with sometimes you send out emails to your list and you'll actually get people that are responding back. right? And they're like, hey, your book has helped me to get through this, or I like the
Yes,
content in your
I
book. So,
love my readers. I mean,
yeah.
like they're friends. I get about, I mean, my list is really small compared to many because I've only been building that list since December. But I get, I don't know, 20 emails a day from new different people. It's a great opportunity then to build your ARC team. But and sometimes they're just so nice. I know when they're doing different things and they send pictures, and I know you've got to sort of manage that time. And that's something that I haven't outsourced because I really enjoy it, especially if you think someone's reading your content and they're having a great time, then that's brilliant. I love it. But maybe that sort of thing will get less and less exciting and I get more experienced. At the moment, I just think it's great.
I don't think so. I think that's part of a surreal process of it. So there's a couple of things that get me really excited. Is number one, those moments, right, where you're getting emails from people, because it's like I published this thing and like someone is actually reading it and getting enjoyment out of it. So that is like. And then, I've been doing this for almost 15 years now, and I still have these moments where I'm like, are you serious? Like, people are really buying like the books that I'm publishing. Like, it just, and like enjoying it to the point where they're leaving like great reviews and comments, and they're looking forward to the next book. And
it's very rewarding, isn't it?
that is very
really
rewarding,
is.
right?
Yeah.
So it makes me, I always wonder, like on a huge level, like someone like an Elton John or Michael Jackson or Elvis, whoever, right? That has this massive reach. Like, how do they like? That has to be like super rewarding. Like they wrote this song, right, or this screenplay or whatever,
Amazing.
and
Yeah.
people enjoyed it. So we get a tiny. We don't get it to that level, right? But we get a tiny glimpse into that, and for that, I'm appreciative. So
yeah, absolutely. It's wonderful.
But hey, Caroline, I know that we promised that this would be a teaser. I said I'll keep you for about 15 minutes. And again, I could talk to you all day long because we just go into so many different rabbit holes, and we're off on this and then off on that. And then I've got like when I'm talking to you, so we might say something, and then in the back of my head, I'm like, oh my God, I want to touch on that. And then we'll end up saying something else. And then I'm like, let me put a note here. I want to touch on that. And before I know it, I've forgotten all of the notes that I've stored back there. And then I'm on to something else. So folks, join us at Kindle Castle Live, kcflive.com is where you can go in and get your ticket. Again, you can get a free ticket. We just want to expose people to like just the idea, the concept of creating digital intellectual property. I like to call it digital real estate, and how you can literally publish something and have someone across the planet purchase it. You could have someone that is across the country buy it. You can have sales that come in at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. It doesn't matter if you're a writer or if you don't write, right? If I'm not mistaken, Caroline, you don't write?
I do both. I do both, actually.
Okay, yeah. So she does both. There you go.
Yeah.
Perfect, right? Perfect example here. It's just a cool opportunity, and I think it's also a really not even think. I know that we have some great people in our community, like Caroline here. So with that said, visit kcflive.com, get your ticket right now, and then remember, you're gonna have a chance to win some really cool stuff like the Kindle Castle hats, all of the Apple products that we've spent thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on to give away. In a weird way, we really like giving away some expensive gifts. I'm still trying to figure that out, but we have fun doing so. Caroline, do you want to leave anything for the person that's watching? And here's the thing. You're going to, Caroline's actually speaking at KCF Live, so you're going to get a chance to hear her talk about mindset a little bit more and how do you overcome like the mental roadblocks that are up here and some of her strategies and tips for doing so. So Caroline, take us out if you don't mind. What do you got?
I think just the whole thing about believing in yourself and just work hard and study all the course modules and obviously set yourself goals. Don't compare yourself to anyone else, but just use the community as much as you can to put your questions out there. And I think it's around the belief that it works. Obviously it does, but also belief that you can do it, and your pace is down to whatever you feel comfortable with.
There you go. I couldn't have said it better. Caroline, and we'll see her on Kindle Capsule Live.
Thank you.